not the noble quarter. What is it called? Let me double check the name of it. The now the temple mount and stuff like that was the site in which the two kings, or the king and the general, signed their peace agreement. And this place has been used on multiple occasions for different, like, various tribes on different islands and stuff like that. They've all signed peace treaties on this island because it's been so well known for being neutral in a resolution. So there is a notion or a thought that one or two of the major treasures or magical items or something along those lines has been lost or hidden away in this island in the last couple of years of the war or just before the war. No one's really sure. There's lots of different stories and no one's really, that they're all so like different that like the only thing is there is something along the lines of the war. The treasure has been noted. You've been listening to a couple of thieves talking Thieves' Cant, which obviously as a rogue you know, and they've been like looking into the cliffs. They've been looking in the cliffs for some sort of carving or symbol that might be like to do with time or one of the old gods, and that no one's really figured it out. And you rob a map, or what you believe to be a map, but it turns out it's like a riddle. It's a really long poem, and the one line that stuck out to you is the rings of time will mark the spot of time. Which the reason that when everyone was talking, who you were listening to, all the different thieves and like robbers or miscreants is the best way I could describe them, talking about this, they've been talking about rings as in like jewelry, and rings as in like diamonds, or rings as in like symbols of like nobility and stuff like that, and that's why they've been checking those areas. But people have been looking for this, you've heard, for like 10 years, 15 years, and it hasn't added up that so much people have searched and not a single clue could be found. And being a forest gnome, you might believe that it may have something to do with a forest or a tree, and there is quite a lot of forest land south of this city as well. So, but every time as you've gone out towards there, you've heard from the woodland creatures and you've seen some footprints of some wolves, some large, some small, but wolves are large compared to the size of you in general anyway. And you haven't really
Most things
been able
are
to get on.
compared to me.
Yeah, true.
Cool.
So, what do you do? There's three of you. So, Ebrus, you are currently getting your shit downstairs to start getting your brewing set up, starting your little fire.
Seeing what kind of herbs I have on me, so that if I can start a brew or if I need to gather some supplies first.
You would know that you definitely need the freshest water possible, because the fresher the water is, the less boiling time and stuff like that. You also know your guild is down the road, so you might go and ask them.
Might as well visit them, yeah.
Because you're a salesman, you're not. You get given your cask, and you because you want to be a brewer, you're trying to brew, but they haven't shared with you their recipes because that's a secret of the guild, and as you get up in levels you will be told more of that. So you would need some of them to help you with some of the ratios, but you're very confident in your own abilities. Whether that's misguided or not, you are confident in your abilities that you could brew him a beer of the same or better quality yourself. Vulcan, your mic is muted.
Yes.
Okay.
I have food next to me, so I'm...
okay. I thought you were going to speak, because it didn't want to tell us. So when you're asking for work, the only job he really gives you is go to Billy's farm, gives you a direction. He says, off you go, but you may need a team.
Hunting rabbits is not my specialty.
He says, yes, but
What I can do with the money.
Yeah. He's like, yes. He's like, yes, but if you can do that for me, I will give you free bed and free food for a while in this tavern, and as you come back, I will help. Blah blah blah. He's offering you free bed and food for a month or so.
That's a tempting offer. I'll take it.
And he also, but
I'll need a crew.
Yeah, and he goes like, well, obviously, like, rabbits are no one's strong suit, and he kind of chuckles. And he looks around the room and he sees like the sailors. Well, they're not used to, and you're a fisherman yourself. And he's like, he sees the gnome in the corner. He's like, look, he's been coming here every once in a while. He's very quiet. Like, I don't know much about gnomes. He might be able to help if you needed someone, but he's like, he just basically goes, he's a quiet lad. He keeps to himself. I don't know much about him. He said, and he goes to the dwarf. He's like, dwarf, I still don't have your name. But
my apologies, John. Ebrius is the name. Ebrius of Alts.
Ebrius, will you go with this man? And if you do, I will make sure that we do buy those barrels you offered before. On top, even before you produce this beer, this is of much importance to me. If I don't have food for my patrons, I won't be able to have a tavern that will serve people. No one just comes here for drink. They could also come for my amazing rabbit stew.
You can share the money with the rest of who else might be helping, or just keep it for yourself.
No, the money.
Yes.
Billy will give you money if you find his rabbits. He is not a wealthy farmer, but he will do what is right by him and by himself. He's the one who offered. I don't know what you heard from before, but Billy is my rabbit producer, and he brings me the finest rabbits. And if he has no rabbits, I have no food.
I will help indeed, yes.
So,
that makes two. As a side note, this is the I'm doing it for exposure, not for money. That thing from Ebrius.
fair, okay.
At least what I tried to, yeah.
Yeah. I want exposure, not money. And then
Just give me tweet and follows, and I'm alright,
yeah,
mate.
exactly.
You just hand him a parchment. You just hand him a sorry. You just hand him a
Could you
piece of
please sign
parchment.
this?
A piece of parchment with like your business card basically, but it's obviously parchment. It's like you slip that. I was like, just give this to a couple of your patrons, and we got ourselves a deal. And it just says like, but it has like one side like all the stuff about your guild, and the other side is like, P.S. I'm the best brewer in the world. Just ask me. You don't need them.
With enough ale, I can make you happy enough.
Yep. Sorry.
I
I
don't know much about
I
money.
quickly set up back downstairs and then get back up to help with the rabbit
it's still early
problem.
in the day. You can, if you want to set up your brews, that's fine. I don't know about Adriel. You don't know. You know about the port city. You would know Ebrus, sorry. You would know a little bit about the outskirts, but you've only been here for like maybe a week, and you've been most of your time has been has been spent like learning the some trades. Like you're basically on a class some days. Like when the person says like they don't want beer, you tell them these and like all the sales tips and stuff like that, because that's been your new mission. And it's like you're just glad to get out of there, so you haven't been exploring much. So you know a little bit about the outskirts to the south, but not. You wouldn't go wandering, basically.
Sure.
And Admiral, you know about the port because you use here as docking because it's one of the largest port cities, and you know you can get work generally. So you know about the city. You've done the odd task, which like ship something to somewhere, or like help someone with like some tavern work, or cleaning up something for the monks, or like producing. Like you've done like every odd task imaginable.
One
in around the
question
town.
though. Is it like in my brewing supplies, is it implied that I do already have something to carry water in, or would I need to find
You
some
would
kind
have
of
a
barrel
water
with that?
skin because everyone has a water
Yeah,
skin.
you have a water skin.
Would a water skin be enough though?
It'd be enough to produce a small amount, but you would know enough to know you might want to grab some more. So you might want to go like out with a barrel, like the barrel you use for producing, because basically I think it's like for 10 liters you get about 5 liters, you get about half that in capacity, and you want to fill a container.
A good casket,
it's not like, it's a bit odd, and you would notice that he wants you to produce like maybe 5 pints or 10 pints. If you water it down, it'd be 10 pints out of your small like travel brewing kit, rather than getting your guilds to make you brews. But I don't like, you're getting the work, so you've accepted it more so that like realistically you'll be like, I can brew this now. That doesn't mean we're gonna brew it as good down the road, or basically what he's trying to do is from what you've gathered is figure out whether or not you're honest about the quality, and if you're able to produce the quality that you just had, he doesn't expect the quality to drop 6 months down the line, which some people would do because they would sell you something like their top brand whiskey and then they would give you something cheap or vice versa.
Yeah, true.
That's kind of what you've guessed.
All right.
Or well, you can take that if you want, but that's what I would have guessed from that sort of level of conversation. It's still early in the day though. It's still like, I know, between 3 and 5 or 3 and 6. Like that's why the tavern is quiet. The town it's busy, but it's not too busy.
So while these lot are all discussing money and beer and things, Mr. Nuts and I have been quietly conversing in the corner, and we've decided we're going to tag along, not to help find the rabbits so that they can be put into pies, because that's just wrong, but we're going to help try and track down the rabbits, because like it's bad that they're all missing. This lot don't know what my plan is. As far as they know, I'm going to come along and help find the rabbits.
Cool.
And that's what I'm going to do.
Do you go up and tell Adril that you're going to help,
no,
or does he come to you, or you just got to just follow them when they go?
No, I just follow him out the tavern afterwards.
Okay. Do you wait till nighttime? Do you leave now? What's the rough plan? I know, Abris, you want to set up your brewing kit first. What's the plan?
After that, I would like to visit my guild.
Okay.
Well, there's no point going at night because you can't see the rabbits.
You all have night vision. Remember that.
You
all
seen
can see
how
60...
small a rabbit is? I can't see those damn things.
Fair.
To be fair though, if there isn't light, we can only really see shades of like
True.
grey.
You can see 60 feet.
And they'll also be sleeping.
Also, like, how long does it take to get there?
He's never asked. Do you want to ask John how long it takes to get there?
How far away is this farm, John?
About 30 minutes out of town. He's one of the small
North or
ones.
south?
South. So basically where you are. You follow the cliff around. Then you take the path on the left, you take the first right, and then you'll see this small shack with a... He's always burning that dirty wet wood. So you'll see puffs of smoke coming out of his little shack, and you'll find him there.
Smoked rabbit.
No. He just burns really bad wood. Like, the man can't afford a decent bit of coal. And you look over at John's tavern. He's got a bucket of coal beside the fire. That's not roaring, but it's pleasant. It's like nice, good warmth coming out of it. There's not a lot of smoke coming out of it. It's a nice, decently warm establishment. It's not wet or damp. It's well kept. So you, Ibris, want to go pop into your guild?
Yeah. We don't need to make it a thing. I just wanted to like ask them if they were all right with setting up this deal, and if so, if they could help me with the just for now the right amount to make the right like recipe to make just the most basic of ale.
And they go, yes. But which cask did you give him? And you discuss them. You tell them you was like, and then you take out the cask.
One.
And the Swamp Water one. It says like cask 65, and someone opens a book and goes, yes. Oh, that's the one he's ordering. He's like, well, he asked me to produce the same one, and they flick back and they're like, no. He goes like, you said you have set up a still? Where did you get a still?
Well, that I always have one on me, I guess.
They're a bit confused, but many people have stills. Like, oh, okay. And he expects you to make a full barrel?
They at least expect me to prove that I can provide the same quality as earlier.
He's like, okay. And he points at some man at a still. He goes, I don't have a name, but he goes, Gimli. There we go. No copyright infringement here. He goes, Gimli, go to the Slippery Nipple and make, and he shouts out 57 and he names some like quantity, and he goes like, they want it at quality blah, and like some codes. They're using codes. You've heard some of these codes, you still haven't deciphered them all.
I look at Gimli and say, please don't. I'm the one who should make the brew, otherwise they won't accept the deal.
He goes, And he looks back at the main guy and he goes, right, okay. You could, well, he goes like, well, look, Gimli will go with you to help produce it. Like, what supplies do you have so far? And they haven't told you the recipe yet.
I only to like show whatever I have. Yeah.
So you've got your wheat. You've got a small bit of wheat, but they look at it and they give it a sniff and they don't think it's up to the right quality. And they go, well, you need more water than this. And Gimli grabs a load of ingredients in a box basically, and he starts to go. And he's basically going, where are we off to? He like gives you that sort of
at least if not write down, then memorize if I can see what he picks and like puts here and there. If he like gathers a box of ingredients, can I see what kind of ingredients he puts into that?
Yes, let's see. What would we roll for this? It'd be insight. Well, it'd be perception. Perception sounds about right, to see if you can guess. Which you are very
that should be a 17 plus, let's see,
5.
3 plus 3.
No, it's 3 plus personality bonus, which is 2. So it's
No,
5.
I only have a plus 3.
Are you not proficient in it?
No, I'm proficient in history, insight, persuasion, and religion.
Oh, okay. I misread that then. So it's 20.
Yeah,
It's still
that's
20.
20. Yeah.
You like you nail it, right? You write it down. So I'm just gonna write this down on a notepad for me. It's brew 57 because I picked that number out of my head. Let me write this down. You don't know if this is a high quality or a medium quality or a low quality ale. It was a blonde beer. Just gonna write all this stuff down. So it was a blonde beer, which is beer. You have the ratios. I'm just gonna write it down.
It's very difficult to write it down alongside you. Okay, I'll just wait for you to text it to me.
Yeah, I can do that. You have the ratios. You have a very good knowledge, because it's been one of your passions your whole life, is making ales and drinks, how this will go, but you don't actually know the exact like which order everything goes in, because if they have but you would be very, very confident that you'll nail this blonde beer but after seeing what's in that box. And they know that, like, as you look at the box, one of the quartermasters goes, Gimli, what are you doing? Cover that up. And he goes, oh yes, and he turns around, but like it's already been like a good 2 or 3 minutes, and they just didn't Gimli was like ready to go, because his job is to brew beer, so he just brews the damn stuff. And like you also notice that like he as he goes to cover it up, he flips off the sheet, looks back and goes, oh, 1 second, turns back and gets a little notebook and puts it in his back pocket. So he clearly doesn't really know what he's doing. He just follows the recipe. But you're convinced from your practice as a child and in your youth, you're convinced you can nail this just by seeing what was in that box. It's like X amount of wheat. They've also got just a massive jug of water, or say barrel of water, which you just presume they'll water it down to a certain percentage as they want the different level of maturation, I think it's called, the alcohol limit, and you're convinced you've got this. Like, it's like a piece of piss. You can make it in your sleep after seeing that box.
Sure.
So you can write down brew 57 learned, which is a blonde beer.
I've written down brew 57 blonde beer, and I have the ratio and a good knowledge. Yeah, basically.
That's all you'd need, to make it.
Yeah, sweet. With that said, I assume I just go back to the tavern with the Gimli.
Yep.
I don't really have much else to do.
There, I like Vulcan just said 57. There are 56 others. Gotta try them all.
Try them all. Yeah. I of course thank my guild for helping me out.
They go. Well done, sir. Like, we did not expect to get such traction so fast. You were a lot better at this than we might have expected. We will certainly be progressing you towards some of the more finer establishments in this city moving forward. They seem very pleased with you.
Not to the compliment, not as if that's something I really care about. I'm more in it for like the actual brew. But yeah.
But you know yourself that there's a hierarchical system, and if the reason you're a salesman was because there was no open positions in brewing, and you knew that it was a good like financial move and like smart move in your mind to go learn the sales, learn about all the different brews, learn about, like, because there's nobody who making the best brew in the world and not knowing how to sell it, that you can brew on the side. You knew you were leaving town, you could brew something and then come back and taste it a few weeks later if you had like a big mission, and you were more than happy to do it, and it kept you it makes you happy. Like, you know, it's like you're getting to do what you love. You're going to be around beer. So yeah, that's the reason you don't currently brew. You also know that a lot of the brewing at the start is like you get given a book. It's your secret sauce book. It's got some encoded messages that you're taught, and like it's basically like you follow the lines, and if you step outside and do anything, there's lots of punishments, but there's a lot less leniency on making beers or producing things for the guild. Like if you had a different sales method, or if you had a different you wanted to try a different grain from a different spec, you can get away with that. But when you're a brewer, you have to follow the recipe, otherwise it's a no-go. And you knew that
disaster.
Yeah, and like you'd lose your standing in the guild. So you always knew that, you know, being a brewer straight off the bat was not going to be work for you, because you knew that you wanted to be creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you head back with Gimli. Adril, during this time, what have you done? So that's taken you about 10-15 minutes to like walk there, walk back. So there's about 20 minutes time has passed while that was happening.
Was I with them in the brewing?
If you wanted to follow, you could follow. You can say you follow.
I'll follow. Let's go and investigate this brewery of yours.
Yeah, so
10-15 minutes prior.
Yeah.
So which one of these two is in charge of this mission?
It's been offered to Adril, but John has asked Ibris to also go help him, because he was saying that he couldn't do it.
Just so that I know which one to send Mr. Nuts to follow, so that he can let me know when they're ready to leave.
Oh yeah, you could just tell him to jump on. Well, how are you about being followed? Well, Mr. Nuts is sneaky because
he's going to do it. He's going to do. You won't know he's following.
That's what I was
just going to keep his distance, and he's going to keep an eye. He doesn't care what you're doing. It's just so that I know when they're ready to leave.
Yeah.
And maybe he might happen to see something he shouldn't.
Yeah. Do you try anything with the other patrons in the tavern while you're sitting around scratching your arse?
Oh well, I've already set up some pranks, so that will happen in town over the coming days. I don't know if you noticed, but there's one guy in the corner of the tavern who seems to be. Well, he thinks he's made of. He's won the lottery essentially. He keeps during the day, in one of my many disguises, I'm out on the street hustling with cards, but I'm deliberately losing to everybody. And this guy, he's in here telling all his mates how he's nearly made like 3 gold already just from playing me because I'm so stupid. And obviously word spreading, and more wealthier people are coming into play. So I'm just setting up some pranks. And some cons, as it were.
But while you're waiting for the lads, did that?
While I'm waiting for them, I'm just gonna. We'll see.
Well, you've got time to kill, so it's on you.
I have got time to kill. But no, I think. For now, just because I've got all of these things set up, and I don't really want to attract attention to myself in this. I'm just going to head upstairs to my room.
Okay, yeah. John just says you sit there quietly most days. Like you ponder around town. Doesn't know much about you. John, for what you would know, is he knows everybody, pretty much. Like, anyone who's walked in this tavern, he could pretty much tell you their full entire backstory, because he's very attentive, and whenever like something goes on in his tavern, he knows about it. And if a patron was coming in like up to no good, you would think that he mightn't be very pleased with that, and because he knows some people who might be in debt, you feel like keeping John thinking you're just a little gnome that sits in a corner and keeps to himself and pays up, and it's probably your best bet to keep him reasonably.
He has no idea
dead.
that all of the people that are pulling these pranks and robbing the rich and stuff, he's got no idea it's all the same person, because obviously I'm a master of disguise.
Yeah. But also, like, it's not in his tavern, so he doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, exactly. My mum always told me when I was a little gnome, you don't shit where you eat.
I thought everyone's parents told them that.
Maybe they do.
Okay, something is gone really messed. Oh yeah, because this. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure out cameras. They're acting the bollocks apparently. That's fine. Okay, so I'm going to take a very quick 2-minute break before you all head out into the forest or towards that area, just so I can have some editing time. And yeah, we'll continue back from there. Unless anyone has anything they want to achieve or do for the next few minutes.
No, I'm good.
Not really. Not if Gimli knows everything and has the stuff he needs.
Yep. He brings the box. Like he just does what he's told. Did he bring his axe? He has two attached to his side, one attached to his front, one big one on his back, and then 2 more that you can't see.
I don't trust the dwarf with more axes than I.
Yeah, well, you don't have an axe. No, they're monks. They don't have axes.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, you have a little hand. You have a little pitch axe. Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's still an axe.
But no, Gimli just has his apron. It's a leather apron for some reason. He wears a white. He wears the white tavern underneath that. He's got goggles for some. Like, he looks like he's about to like do some mining or like some smelting and stuff, but he's brewing. It's a bit. His outfit doesn't make a lot of sense.
Leave him be.
Basically, yeah, it's a bit of an odd choice, but like, who's going to question him? He's going to brew the beer. And when you get back, John also he kind of just expects like you explain that this is Gimli, he's the brewmaster, you're just the salesman, but you do have brewing potential, and you are moving towards that. And like you keep John confident.
No, I would actually rather say it as he's the brewmaster, and I'm more sort of like
apprentice?
Undergoing training, which is apprentice.
Yeah, cool.
Rather than being the salesman.
Yeah. But you basically go like, you're not allowed, or not that you're not allowed, but you don't possess the same skills as he does to produce the beer. Hopefully you're okay with him coming in and making this, and if anything goes wrong, you'll take the blame and you'll take the responsibility for Gimli acting up or doing anything. And if you have a problem with Gimli, please let him know. And if when I come back, if there's any issues, you let me know. And you're basically doing the whole like, I will take care of this. Please come to me for all your problems. You're taking ownership and responsibility for anything Gimli does. Gimli doesn't seem dim. He seems dim-witted. He's not a very funny guy. He's not serious, but he's just like doesn't really not up for a laugh.
It doesn't touch him, you know. Yeah.
But he's very much a matter of fact person. Someone asked me to make brew, I make brew. But
sure.
We're gonna take a quick 2-minute break, and then we'll move to you guys moving towards the forest or moving out in that direction.
To the south. Doodaloo.